Okay, so where we left off, we are doing more Scratch lessons. This time you're going from control to operators. So let's get started. Control section has wait blocks, loops, more wait blocks, and a stop block, which can either stop all, stop this script, or other scripts in Sprite. So that's what it does. Now, since we use this wait block in the other thing, in the other episode, so then we're going to look at what these blocks do. First is the forever loop. The forever loop makes something go on forever. And then with the wait block, we can do the same thing that we did in the last episode, which makes him look like he's running. Next is the if block. The if block. So the if block can be used by itself, or it can be used with any other block. If we add the forever block, it will say forever if this thing is happening. So in the sensing, there's touching mouse pointer. Then do that. So if we hover over the cat, he starts running. And if we don't, then he stops. And also, I can add a button and say on it, go. So if this, it will mean that if we press this button, something will happen because it says go on it. So let's add when the sprite clicked, broadcast, run. And then when I receive run, so now when we press this button, he should run. He should do the thing. So that's it for control. The next one is sensing. It senses if something happens. So with the if loop, we can take our sensing blocks and then put them in. So if touching mouse pointer, just like we did. But there's also some other ones. If touching color, if color is touching, distance to mouse pointer, ask what's your name. So what this does is we can type whatever we want into here. Hi, for example. And then he will wait for a response. Like I just typed in hello. So when we press it, nothing happens. Yeah, the go block doesn't work. Yeah, the go button doesn't work. We should just delete it. Okay. So then the distance to mouse pointer needs an operator block. It can be either this one, or this one. They each go in this loop. So, distance to mouse pointer, distance to mouse pointer, and distance to mouse pointer. So we can put this in here. If distance to mouse pointer equals 50, then say, this is in the look section, don't touch me. And we can also add the when green flag clicked forever if loop in that. So now when we get close, so I don't know why it isn't working, but the other blocks in the sensing section is answer, which means that when you ask it something, like ask hi and wait, if answer, drag this into that loop, equals hello, then say yay. Oh, there we go. So now it will ask hi. And then if we say hello, then he will say yay. So that's how that works. If key space pressed is basically the same as this loop, is this hat, you can choose any key you want. Mouse down means if the mouse is down, then do that. Mouse X and mouse Y can go into these loops, and it will do something when it is activated. Set drag mode to draggable will mean that when the space key pressed, we have the ability to drag the cat around. Oh, wait, let me go in full screen to show you. There we go. And so that's how that works. The loudness is how loud it is. If I turn it on, it goes up when I speak louder. So that's what that does. Timer is how fast it goes. So if I turn it, the timer is how much I've been on this page. So it goes forever. Reset timer means it will set the timer to 0. Backdrop number of stage. There's so many things here. Current year, which means all of this. Days since 2000 is a block that hasn't been used like ever, but it tells you how many days it's been since the year 2000. And then username shows the username of your Scratch account. And then the final one that we're going to do is operators. Operators are or like these, but also shows minus, times, and divide. There's also mod. So, like this, if we select mod, well, this actually is, in Scratch add-ons. So, thanks to Scratch add-ons. So this is what it will look like. So then there's pick random 1 to 10, which means it will pick a random number from 1 to 10. These are what I showed in the sensing category. And, or, and not are blocks that, so this is and it means that if one thing and another thing happens at the same time, or means that if one thing or this thing happens, and not means that until not this thing is happening. So it will go into a repeat until loop. Join means it will join two things at once. Letter one means that you can pick any letter of the word that you have here, and it will say it. Like that. And then length is how many words, or how many letters are in it. I don't think this will work. Oh, it does. So, if apple contains A, means that if the word apple contains the letter A, then do this. Mod and round mean that is an instruction which allows the user to calculate the remainder produced by a division of two integers, which means that it will calculate two integers divided by in that loop. I don't know if I said that right, or I don't know if it makes any sense, but still. And round means it will round the number. I don't think I said that right either. And then there's this list: abs, floor, ceiling, squirt, sin, cos, tan, asin, acos, atin, in, log, e, 10. So these are things that you can use in coding, which, in normal coding, not just this coding, not just Scratch, like Unity and stuff. So, that is what it does. And then for a bonus, we're going to do variables and lists. And then variables keep stuff inside. So it keeps information. So like change the variable by 1. So when I press this, I'll change that by 1. Set variable to 0, we'll set it to 0. The show blocks and the hide blocks will do what they say. They will show it, and then we'll hide it. So now I can hide that, and then I can show it again. Now a list is called, so a list, what it does is it keeps things inside a list, which means that you can add stuff in here. So like right here, when green flag clicked, forever, add variable to variable list. So now it should add variable. But if you don't want it to go crazy like that, you can do wait 1 second. Right there. Or when this sprite clicked, add variable to variable list. And it also will change variable by 1. So then also there is this, which adds it. We already did that. Delete. Delete number 1 of variable list means that it will delete the first thing. Delete all of variable list means it will delete it all. Insert thing at number 1 means that it will insert whatever you put at the number 1 spot. Replace item number 1 of variable list with thing. So that means that item 1 of variable list will be replaced with what you want to add. And then item 1 of variable list means that add. So we could do wait item 1 of variable list seconds, which means that if we set this to like 5, then it will wait 5 seconds. This can also work on other things like set variable to item 1 of variable list. And also replace item 1 of variable list. Or we could do replace item number 1 of variable list with item 1 of variable list. That doesn't make sense. Item number of thing in variable list means that it will find the item number of thing, which means it will find the item number of, for example, variable in variable list, 1. Length of variable list shows the length of the variable list. And then if variable list contains thing, means that if this list contains one thing in it, which you can type in there, then do something. And then show list and hide list basically do the same. Basically do the same as the variable.